I don't know.
Okay. Afternoon, okay. Who is online? Who is offline? Oh, okay. Come. So these sessions are actually, I think Vasudev will not be able to. He's busy with the baby. Yes. Okay. But Rabi and Bhavana, what stops you from coming to the campus? Can you come on video mode?
Yes.
Just to see whether you got up from the bed and sitting there. Bhavna, you can't be muting, and this whole module must be interactive. Tanmay, are you there online?
Yeah, I'm online.
Where? I can't
Oh,
see
you mean to say video or audio?
Video, audio. You can stand up and do some exercise, do whatever.
Yeah, morning exercise done.
Done. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Bhavana is muted. Is she here or is she online? Kapil, we have never seen you. I have never seen you. Usually I see everyone.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know why it's not sorted yet. The camera is disabled from.
Yeah, it's disablable for everyone. Yeah.
For everyone. Then
Yeah. Even I cannot
Cannot
do also with camera off,
right.
camera on.
Okay, that's a very convenient excuse now.
No, it's I can see the I can show you the screenshot also.
Yes. No, for me also, Shinu.
Okay, so I'm just
So
I'll share
from next week I'll be there. Today, I thought it'll be raining.
Okay, Sharavan, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Shinu ma'am. Sorry, I couldn't come down to Bangalore.
Okay, but you can come online, video mode.
Oh, yes. I'm just connecting.
Okay.
It's a bit dark in here, so.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I hope I'm busy. I'm not putting. Okay, I'll put video mode on.
Yeah, I can see.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. I can see you also, your screen also.
Wonderful. Okay. So I'll go from video mode so that we will focus on the topic. So this module, everybody is on, right?
Yep.
Everybody has some prerequisite. Let me just quickly take the LMS. While this come up. Okay, I keep doing. We'll stop doing 1 second. Okay, I just want this to be here on top of it so that I know who is talking, though I can't see much, but at least I know that this is there. Okay. So this module, because I have been kind of pondering on what this module should be, and this has been created. Actually, this was not there as part of the maybe up to 5 batches. We never had this module. We only had mostly analytics, and more analytics. We never had a management orientation. But then 5th batch onwards, we started getting feedback from other mentors and companies that the MBA perception of what an MBA must be is not fully covered, right? So that is what this module has come in. But it has no means to say that this one module is enough for you to get a good understanding on all the essentials of management. So the whole purpose of fast tracking your learning is through case studies, because in a case study, you get to see the context in which organizations are working. It's not just one data set and one model. It is about the context in which the bigger organizations work. So in terms of the nature of organizations also, I have tried to create some kind of diversity. So if you see, the first case is a case study on Campus Hash, which is very, I would say a very small startup and very relatable, right? Because that could be you or me. Those people could be you or me. I hope you have read that. If you haven't read and come to this class, then it will be like a lullaby. You all will go to sleep. Second case we will see is not exactly a case, but how do you understand money? Because if you don't understand money, then you can't run anything, neither your house nor a company. So money understanding is important. That is why, along with other functions, because we can't get so much time on it, we may discuss marketing, finance, and HR as part of this focus. But money is one case study. It's not exactly, it is a case study. It's a Harvard business case study. But looking at various companies and see how they are managing finance, how are they managing money, how are they running their companies. So that single case study can give you understanding of different business models of different companies. The third case study we would discuss is the most desired place to work, as everyone has given, is Google, right? Google has some of the best people practices. They also, in terms of performance, is one of the highest rated organization. What makes them what that is, right? The Google is. So that case study would give you how to drive performance through people, right? So that means it's a larger setting. You know how big is Google and how to create a system which is Google sized compared to a campus hash. But how do you create those kind of systems and how do you scale? The fourth case study is going to be, which we will see, it's called ATH Technologies. It will tell you the whole journey of a startup to valuation to selling off, right? So that means you will get to see what all decisions an enterprise leader has to take. And our wish is that you become a successful entrepreneur, if not successful intrapreneur. For anything, the basic undermining concept is that you have been given limited resources. How do you create value out of it? Resources could be people, money, intellectual properties, everything what has been given, it's all limited. But can you create value or will you destroy value, which is the case in most of the companies, right? Very few companies are surviving, sustaining more than 100 years. So that is the whole purpose. Plus, we also want to have an open freewheeling discussion on what are your challenges? What are the performance challenges you have if you are a team leader or when you become a team leader, or what are the people challenges we have? Can we look at some of the best practices and then decide what should be your personal strategy to drive performance and people? So this is what we thought. And then towards the end, can you conceptualize something from nothing? All startups, Google, everything starts from nothing. You understand, no? The power of value creation from nothing. PhD research thesis has become Google. Just random skill has become campus hash. Anything, your education should turn into something which is so phenomenal that you feel that is exactly the meaning of all these things that the management should lead to. So we will focus on all these things. So this is my intention. I hope, are you all with me or are you against me or are you somewhere else? Neither with me nor against me somewhere else.
No, with you. Okay, so there are two different things. Entirely on the management perspective, and we are losing the technical side, looks like. So we should think more on entrepreneurship and then how to build your own value creation channel.
Okay. So it is one more thing. This is not against analytics. We will try to bring analytics use cases if you know what the companies are trying to solve. But if you think that give me the data and then I will build something and give you back, that's not how we want business analytics participants to actually go to a company and present yourself. So we will also bring, it is management essentials for analytics only, right? So we will, that means one of the exercise, whether you have seen or not, the assignment guidelines which is sent, that can you convert campus hash into an Excel sheet? Can you? Have you done? Have you read, first of all? In fact, I'm just opening the previous presentation because I made some changes after the discussions. So the presentations keep changing because nothing is permanent, right? Have you read any of these books? There is that one. Have you done anything between the last Saturday to this Saturday?
I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, the very first edition that was there. So,
Who is it? Who is that?
Shravan Kumar.
Ah, okay. That I think we had discussed last time. The only book people have read in this whole book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. After Rich Dad Poor Dad, there is a very, very mind-blowing which book has come, which is Psychology of Money.
Shinu, I bought that book yesterday. It came, so I have to read it.
Can you hear me clapping? See, I mean, if you really love learning, I think that shows up. It's a passion. It's a passion. So the moment you get a book, it should be like, it's not your refrigerator or it is not a car. It is a book, right? The way that you will immediately sit on the driver's seat and drive. Moment the book comes, that it should be like magnet. That I have done that in some of the books, that I don't sleep till I finish. You have seen, you have something like that in your life? You don't sleep.
There are
Yes,
two other books.
some interesting books, some novels we used to drive to the end, but not sure.
So tell the name, no? If you can tell. Harry Potter books were like that to me. I used to stand up in the queue and mythological books. Okay.
There are two other books which are not in this list, which were actually very interesting for me to read regarding strategy.
Manjunath is speaking. Just a minute. People online, offline, everybody is talking. One at a time. Okay. Okay. So I'm just showing, since Manjunath is a finance freak, and I'm putting one thing here. How is it? It's ulta pulta. I don't know. Okay.
Finance books.
But nothing like holding a hard copy, right? No, yeah, everybody knows. No, I'm just telling I got the book, but holding a book and reading through the pages. How many of you read that? How finance works on LMS?
I read one page and then I finished it. So I thought I'll order it.
I see the sample. First chapter usually.
I think we should need to build that reading habit, because I read a few of the books and after 10 pages I lost, it becomes dry, and then I move into a new book.
I read a few pages till the assignment started.
So the worst part of most of us is that it's like entrepreneurship journey or your life journey. We are so enthusiastic while starting.
Yes,
We
yes.
actually pay money and buy it. First day we are on top. Second day it is thrown somewhere. Fitness, life itself. See, for example, if you really empathize with that entrepreneur, campus Ash and all of them, they can give up any point of time the moment the challenges start becoming bigger and bigger. Hurdle starts becoming bigger and bigger. In companies, people give up because things are not working their way. They give up. They go to the next company. But don't you think you have been hired to solve that challenge only? Our job is to solve that challenge, not to push it somewhere and say that this company is not the place I want. I think life, we have, it's like our wardrobes. So many clothes, so many unused stuff in the kitchen. It's like that only. So in that process, do you know that we are destroying the value? We are destroying the value, right? So this thinking is what I would want to bring in, and people who are not speaking up on the books or anything, that if you have to pick one book or two books and promise that you will buy this hard copy and read it, which one? Commit, yeah. Commit means write down. Chat, put it in the chat and say I am right. I am buying this. I am reading this. And it's a habit. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I have added after. I thought I missed it last time. How do you build atomic habits?
I'm reading it, ma'am.
Yeah, I have changed the PPT. So please take the latest PPT from the LMS. And I have also put a lot of YouTube. So it's like multi-sensory learning. Some people read, some people watch, some people listen, some people do something, but learn. The same books you can read through something called the Swedish Investor. He has an amazing YouTube channel where he actually visually represents books and give a glimpse of every book. Think School, I was telling that he will give you a good understanding on how company strategies are working. So whether you are reading, but at the end of it, in a conversations like this, we must have enough to converse with, right? You can't say, I don't know. That word, please remove from your dictionary because your job is to get to know and give us the solutions. And slowly you become better and better at it, right? So please consider this as a big request for your own good. I am not, what is that? I am not an agent of any of these books, right? It's for your own good. Can we hear a big shout out or anything to reading habits, learning habits?
Yes, yes. So this finance book, it's completely talking about the entire finance stuff, right? Like those EBITDA, the profit and loss, what are the asset level. So, so the expectation is as a leadership, when we have a team, so what is the cost to which we are bearing for the team, and how much work, and that work can be considered as a profitable, and those comparison we can do. That is the expectation then, and we can use it in our personal life also. Correct, Sinwa?
Yeah, I am just going back to this. Okay. Okay, I'm going back to this specific model called enterprise leadership model. We are somewhere here still. We are managing self. If you haven't got the right practices to manage self, means what? What are your resources? You have some money and you have some time. Mostly these are the two resources. What you do with these two, right?
Right.
And then maybe, but you can grow only this much with if whatever way that you are using. I have to make some screening. You have to tell Pulikeshi to tell Ramesh to stop that, right? Okay, so if you are managing self properly, there are principles and frameworks. Every MBA must think structurally. Engineers actually have better structural thinking. If you are an engineer, we expect you to be keeping on to the structure. That means have a box. Do not think out of the box thinking that you are creative. Even for creative, even for creative work, you need to have a box. That box is called framework. If nothing is there, suddenly in a consulting interview, I was telling that question is asked. Size your market and show us. You should know how to answer that. You should have a framework, right? So managing self means we need to have enough mental models to say that this is my money, this is my time. How do I now box all these things so that I get best value out of it? And in a job perspective, that this is my job, this is the outcome, and how do I efficiently manage my time and resources to get there? But to alone, you can do very little. Then if you do that well, you become a little team leader. Maybe you have 3 people now, 5 people now. Now you have to replicate good practices into the team and make each of them the leader. Means you are a leader, your job is to make others leaders. If you fail to do that and think that I should only get promotions, I must not get noticed. Some managers you have seen, all the credits of the team's work, they will project as theirs. All the faults of the team will be escalated to them and then they will get penalized. That is all blame is on the team members. You have seen plenty examples. Or are we the one? We also sometimes become like that, right? That I take all the credits, but blame all outsiders. No, that's not. It is exactly opposite that we must do. Take the blame to yourself and give the credit to the team. And continuously improve the team. That is your only job there. Not to do that person's work, to improve the job. Moment you start doing this and move to the next level, can you now manage the managers? You start getting P&L responsibilities. Any of you here manages money means certain budget is given. That is one way of managing, that this is your budget. You allocate, you hire, you create the incentives. All that is being given. But are you also given the task of running the revenue part of it? Identify revenue sources, build revenue sources, grow revenue sources. That becomes a critical skill at some part of this turn, depending on the company's size and the levels that they may decide. So you need to know how to increase revenue or how to build new products to build revenue and then manage the cost so that your P&L at the end of it, whatever the net profit, the bottom line is actually good. Somewhere here you will be asked to drive that, right? Functional manager means this is your budget. This is the projected budget. You need to deliver in terms of, say, marketing revenue and in the cost that which has been predefined. If you are a business manager, you are in charge of the complete business vertical. So if you are in charge of, say, iPads, right, iPad division, or if you are in charge of a furniture division, right, or if you are in charge of maybe in the university parlance or edutech thing, that all the B2B verticals. So you will have to have that skill. If you are a group manager, your expectations grows up. So you have a complete group to manage. Say, for example, all the retail businesses or all the specific group comes to you. Then you become CEO means you're only watching shareholders, the stock movements, and be extremely careful on how to grow the company. So when Steve Jobs left, they told Tim Cook will never do that, right? Will not be able to have that charisma. But now I think 2 trillion is the US valuation what Apple has. So they have grown strength to strength. This person need to be a visionary. This person need to know whether you are doing the right things in the right way. doing the right things in the right way. So these are all management concepts. So we will spend, so Rabi, the question is everywhere finance is going to come. If you want to grow, now it's all risky things, no?
Yes.
Can I go back and tell my company that I need 2 years of time and this is the investment that I need? I am presenting a business plan. You trust me that I will get it done. That is an MBA expectation. That's what maybe an IIM or ISP graduate will do. Work experience with the work. Don't. I'm not talking about a startup started by young kids like Campus Ash, but I'm just telling that an MBA like yours, experienced people.
Yes. Yeah.
In that you will use analytics, but will you use only analytics? Analytics is one of the mental models. So don't think that no, I know now forecasting and or I know now clustering and I will do everything in clustering. Clustering is a very powerful tool that will also come in handy when you are trying to do say segmentation, because you have limited resources. You have only this much money and you have to identify the most best fit customers. Among say lakhs of customers, you are already there purchasing from your platform. You definitely need to have analytics, right? So, but analytics cannot solve all the problems also. If you don't have data in certain things, then but if you ask some of the leaders, they would say that even when there is no data, you must be able to synthesize data. Nothing has been given. Can you say, so one of the projects that which we are now working on is that one of the airport authorities have asked that we have certain number of vendors who is doing multiple services of this airport. We have passengers coming in. Problem is that the number of vendors have increased. They have about say 2,000 people working at various operations at various levels, from security to clearing to janitor service, everything, all kinds of services. Based on the passenger travel, we need to kind of create a customized model so that it's not like one vendor and a fixed set of resources. We need to have more optimized dynamic workforce planning model as per the passenger service. Problem statement. They say we can't give you data. Then so these are good the analytics problems you will solve. Very good. Okay.
It's basically not stores and capacity planning. First itself, you should understand what is the capacity coming of distribution center and plan the labor account. Purely optimization problem where we will be building how many labors are given days.
Absolutely.
So,
yes. I'll just take this call, one of the intern. Rujul? Okay. I will meet him during the break. Yeah. So Manjunath is telling the same story. I don't know whether people can hear. We have so much focus on the people online. I would want to focus on people offline because they have taken little more trouble to come here. Right? So these sessions are mainly for these kind of interactions so that you will have a clear understanding on how do I drive things, right? So Manjunath, what he is telling is that in a Walmart kind of stops where based on the customer demand, can you do workforce planning? Now, if you have to create a conceptual map about it, will you be able to do? For that you have to read, you have to talk, you have to understand. You need to have better mentor models. How do you fast track this learning? How do you fast track? Because your company would ask, give me a proposal in this month or this week. You may have people, you may not have people. From out of nothing, you have to create. That is the expectation.
They asked us 20% of in returns. Returns means
Yeah, yes.
Many people return
Absolutely.
They want what is the probability given an item,
Will be returned.
it will be returned. And also in recommendation engine, please do not show those kind of items which has high probability.
Okay,
So
okay.
there are two pre-return proposal, post-return what can
Oh,
be.
yeah. Yes. I don't know. Are you talking online or offline? You are not talking online, no? Are you? So, see, I have to keep translating, which is not right. So, yeah, maybe you can put online somewhere so that you can also be part of it. Pavana is online. So the, yeah, okay. So the, what the challenge that Manjunath is solving now is that, they can use mic. I don't know whether it is, they are able to hear Manjunath. Can we say yes or no, those who are online?
We can hear Manjunath, but very
Yes.
slow. Okay, we cannot understand properly.
It's very feeble, ma'am.
Now are you able to hear? Speak up.
Hello.
Manjunath speak, then only we can hear.
No, I'm speaking, you are able to hear.
Are you able to hear now?
No,
Because he is
almost
speaking
same,
through
almost
phone,
similar.
through mic.
It's very low.
Okay. So what he says is that how do we reduce the returns? How do you reduce the returns of items? How do you calculate the probability of returns so that 20% of the goods supplied is returning, which is a major problem. And how do you ensure that your recommendation engine also shows that while recommending these items cannot be displayed, right? Now these are good problems to solve. So if you look at the bigger financial implications, it is not just the 20% value loss, but also the other overhead cost, which is associated with returning and bringing back. And there are so many other expenses which is coming in. And most of the industries like this have a standard benchmark. Say, for example, they will compare it with Amazon. They'll compare it with some of the other similar stores and then target, yes. And then they would want to keep on improving this, right? So the purpose of this class is not just to give you some gyan, but to just expand your perspective so that you don't get intimidated by saying that, okay, I can't think, I don't know, I have never done this, I don't know another industry, I don't know anything. But that is why finance becomes important, because we will also get through how finance works. And how finance works, it's money only, right? Money come, money goes. Whether you are in this university or you are in Target or Walmart or Airbus or anywhere, that's all. So if you can do something called a transfer learning and then abstract everything and see best practice used in Walmart, I can use it in Reva University. Can you not? How many people are asking for refund of fee because they got some other admissions? If you do CET counseling, you know that through CET counseling, they can return the money. Can you predict it beforehand so that we don't give them admissions? I'm just asking. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
Same.
Yeah.
the CET concept should give you data.
Yeah, they would. Yeah. No, I'm just telling. But when they come here, we can. There are so many ways to get the data, right? So money is important, Rabi. It's not just that we are discussing, through a case, right? So let
Yes.
me just go back to. So do we have any other discussion points or anything? I just made some changes in the agenda because last week we couldn't go through the campus hash. Now we will see two things here in today: campus hash case study and how finance works. This is the agenda. Only through cases. Otherwise, we will this kind of conversation can go on. You don't know what happened at the end, right? Okay. So I think this is kind of an agenda we will try to stick to. We will discuss campus hash and we will also discuss pivots. We will also see how do we do some kind of a transfer learning on business model canvassing. We will also do finance, balance sheet, ratios, And we will also have a glimpse of the next set of case study, which is Project Oxygen, and also something called ATH, right? Okay. Now this is the first time that we are discussing a case. Or I don't think you have discussed in any of the modules. Why case study as a methodology? Quickly. It is written there already. Why case studies? Do you appreciate case studies?
Yeah, real-time experience you will get.
Yes. So when you are using a term called use cases, when you are saying that it's a caselet or a small glimpse of what happened, usually in analytics case studies you would see a problem statement is given, associated data is given, a set of questions it's been asked. It is like your engineering or when you did your bachelor's, they will give you a problem and they will ask you to solve. But life doesn't come with this is the problem, right? Life says this is as it is. Now you define the problem. You define the problem. You find solutions. You solve and see whether the problem is solved or not. You understand the difference. Anyone tells you that now campus hash, this is the problem, or my life. Can I list out my problem statement in my own life? Nobody tells you, right? As a one paragraph, this is the problem. Nobody tells you. That is because I have some. Okay. No, I don't have other case study. Other copies I don't have. Yeah, they have one copy. Okay, so life is going to be like this. Case study is a small snapshot of a time period that I have started my journey like this. I did so many decisions and I have landed up here, like your life. Right? Now what to do? Should I pivot? Should I change? Should I do something? Now to do a case study properly, you have to be that person. You need to have multiple perspectives. Saurabh or whoever is the founder there, can you literally empathize with that person? Literally means you have to absorb himself and see that person is me. What do? I don't have a job. I have given up all the placement opportunities. I have started off this. I have for 5 years I am now working. I have set of people in my team. I have to pay them. If not me, maybe I'm still working on with my parents' garage. Can you empathize the trouble that they have taken, an entrepreneur taken? Plus, can you look at maybe Turkey's or somebody else's perspective, or a salesperson's perspective, or some other programmer's perspective in the team? Can you bring different perspectives and put them in frameworks? Structurally put the things and give a solution, not just a superficial few liners, but a structural thinking solution. If you can do that, you are fit for consulting jobs. When a company is giving you certain, because you don't know that company, you may have few conversations with the founder. You have to actually literally write down or transcript and then create a deck and saying that this is as is status. This is what they have done so far. That as is status has to be presented in a convincing manner than the founder, because founder knows better than you everything that they have done. But when you are presenting, your presentation has to have a external perspective. You must know other perspectives which founder can't see. It is like myopia, no, because you are too close. Founder is too close, but you can't have that myopia. You have to have a bigger vision. That's what we keep saying. Keep between 30,000 feet, 10,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 100 feet. Can you move in between? Are you a good photographer? Are you a videographer? Can you capture this snapshot? So case studies don't, if you actually do about 30, 40 case studies like this, your confidence of problem solving would improve. But we don't have time, therefore we are doing this faster, right? And every case study is to make you a better decision maker. That is the purpose. Problem solving and decision makers. Because you have to own that decision. Tomorrow, if you're going to consult and say that this is what you should do, they have done that. You can't say, no, 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 now I don't own that. It is up to you. That model is over now. Earlier, they used to do that. Now, no. You're part of that decision making. You have to own, right? So please check more on how to look at case and etc. So we are just moving. Now, how do I approach this case study? One is that you have to read. There is no there is no shortcut to that, right? How to read the case study? Not once, not once, twice, thrice. After reading, what is the output?
Because every time you need to come up with a different.
Yes. You need to make notes. You need to convert this into little analytical because it's analytics class. You need to convert and take that there is trade-off of every decision. If I do this, something else will happen. If I do this, now how do I balance my, say, return on investments? That means how much I should invest, how much I should get, and how do I trade off that, right? Read the case, see the case not only from the protagonist view, but everyone's view, right? My view, what is that I think? What is that Saurabh should do? What is that Turkey should do? Somebody else should do. Three people, right? And then comes the third part. Apply the concepts and tools. You can't just start talking like me. That some gyan. No, you have to put the problem situation in certain boxes. That boxes will give you structural thinking. Now the problem is which concept to apply where. You should know that, right? It's like analytics tool. When to apply clustering, when to apply, say, classification, you should know. You should know the difference between these two, right? So what concept to apply when? What tools to use when? We have been discussing a few tools earlier. Say, for example, Porter's value chain model. Now, don't write it as Porter's value chain. Can you juxtapose that one into this case study? Maybe, may not be. Yes, because these are universal frameworks. You can somewhere some of it, but may not be the right fit, right? So you need to know how to do that. Say, for example, a framework like SWOT, SWOT. Anything, anyone, anywhere we can put, right? But how do you write those? And then create in team discussions. After you put in, then you have a team discussions and then decide what is the problem statement that they are. Now, problem statement is not written there. They're just thinking that, okay, 5 years of my journey, I need money from funders. Why a funder must invest in my startup? What is that I should project? Which path I should project? Because there are three, four projects ideas they have. Whichever project you take, there are certain returns which we can forecast. Now, which one I should take? Which one I should talk? Because funder might give you 30 minutes, or sometimes it is an elevator pitch. They may give you 2 minutes to discuss. What would you talk? Right? So this is the process that you go through. So I have some water bottle. If you can ask somebody to bring that, yes, thank you. Okay, so I'm giving you the framework itself. The framework which we will use is called business modeling. Very, 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 what is that? Universal framework. If you can master this framework, you can actually solve 90% of your problem statement into this structure. So business modeling is a very, very important concept that we will teach, right? So this is what we would do. Now, learning outcome is too many. That how do you understand business model? How to use business model for customizing to this case setting? And if you have set up a business model, how do I now pivot? Should I pivot? Is another thing. And then decisions. So many readings are there. I am just putting, but all these are beautiful, beautiful book. I can't tell you, but if you are, it is like again, you want to add value, you read. Otherwise, sleep. Choice is yours. What you do with your time and money, right? So Osterwalder's business model generation, the book is there in the LMS. Lean startup. If you have read Eric Rice, I'm sure all the people who have done here Scrum, Agile, MVPs, that is the origin of that book. All minimum viable products, Agile methodologies, Lean Canvas, Lean methodologies, all that comes from Lean Startup book. He's hardly 43. He wrote that book, say 10 years back when he was hardly 35. Eric Rice. Must book. There is no question that you should not have, right? Thank you. Thank you. You must have these books. Now I'm sure larger the systems, you need more frameworks. That's why Agile comes in, design thinking comes in. More you read, your business model becomes more solid. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and other books from Robert Kiyosaki. He has written so many books, right? And Guy Kawasaki books. Okay. In fact, I thought I will not waste time because if I ask anybody read the case, they'll say no. See, this is otherwise it will become like my show, no? As I mentioned, our job is not individual what is that? Heroineship. No. Our intention is to make you the hero. But you should also be little willing. Right? So can somebody quickly tell, don't read this. Don't read this. Because this presentation is given. Can somebody, whoever have read that case, have you read the case? It is there in front of you, right? Case is there. Yeah. Okay.
On the training front.
Okay.
Candidates.
Okay.
The day after the DA process, they became
To tell them
expert.
to stop.
Became expert. Yes, right. They also added one more guy. Also equally competent guy in this area. He refined some more training activities, and then together they ran it for the competition.
Pulikishi, we didn't inform them yesterday. No. Tell. No. Have you seen the person who is drilling this? No, I think. No, I cannot take a break from here now. Okay. One second. I'm just trying to make that. Okay. I think, yeah, please continue. I don't want to stop.
Yeah, so they added one more guy, Shiro, who was also equally competent in this field. He joined and they refined the training modules and skills. They continued for few more years. Then they came to the stage where they have to level up their way of working on. Next, what next? So
Okay.
each had their own ways of going ahead, and that is where they stopped.
Okay. 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 Yeah, so that's a very quick way of summarizing the case. Thanks so much. I don't know whether anyone in the online have heard, but good work. At least he has read. People online, can you all hear what he told?
Not very much.
Nothing. Nothing has been heard. Okay. So what I would want all of you while speaking up and including, of course, only he is the one who only told something, that that we have to be very definitive in our communication, right? For that you would have actually made some notes. I'm just telling that who are the people, because they have names. They have names, right? Say for example, we have Sanket Saurabh, Rohit Tirke, right? Tirke and Shirol. Yeah, three of them or two of them started off from an IT. So if you talk with these statements, then it becomes more what is that, assertive, right? Assertive communication. So the context is, I hope everyone has read that. The context is quite clear that these were smart kids. They knew programming very well. I'm sure they would have helped their friends, and friends would have told somebody else from other institutes, so that they are good has been spreading, and they have leveraged that goodwill that they have created into money, right? Now this can happen to all of us, that we are known for good in something, right? But the big decision they have done is forgo placements and start off. If you forgo placements, what happens? You have something called an opportunity cost. That's an important concept in finance. If you have, say, 100 rupees, should I invest in certain things? Is based on the opportunity cost, because I have too many opportunities. Which one will give me better returns? So in terms of, say, somebody was getting a placement of 40K per month. In a year, he would have earned something. So if I have to ask you to calculate opportunity cost of these two for, say, 3-4 years, after considering maybe time value of money, if not, just calculate in a year how much he would have earned, how much he would have lost by not taking up that. That is an opportunity cost. So you have a small Excel coming up. Another thing which we see is that what is there, how are they making money? That is called business modeling or revenue modeling. What are they doing which makes them take money? Now what are they doing? They are going and teaching. How many days they can teach? Because they are students, they have classes. They can only teach weekends. Weekends, if you teach, you have 52 weekends, the way that which we calculate here. 52 weekends. With some holidays and all that, 50 weekends. Maximum you can do 50 weekends. How much we can charge per person? Written there. For a day, 1,000 rupees. How many in a class? 20. For 50. Do you have an Excel coming up? Have you anyone did an Excel? So this is what consulting interviews. There is no what is that rocket science here. It's all common sensical. I'll show you an Excel, but I want you to think and start thinking that way. And then, okay, now it's like rich dad, poor dad concept, basic concept that I and my friend and I am going and doing the sessions. I am there talking like this, right? Can I not go and then get money one day? No, right? I have to be there. So if I am there, I am money. I am the resource. I am everything. Now this formula will not work if you want to scale. You have to replicate somehow. So how do I replicate if I have to increase the number of the money? Then they may say that, okay, our classes are over. Now we can do this full time. So that means we have 365 days open instead of 50 days or 100 days, 365 days open. Maybe I'll increase little, but the problem is still I have to go there. Will I not be burnt out after doing 365 days training? Is it possible? It's not possible. Can you do a Excel calculation right there? That if I change my business model of doing from weekends to weekdays and maybe charge little more, add a little more people into the sessions, what happens? My Excel sheet changes. These are different scenarios. Then what happens next? I am doing large scale workshops because I got exposure in PyCon and people are now looking at me as this company as a. Now this is two different things. Company is another person, right? That's the basic accounting 101. Company is a different person. Company is a third person. Company is not Saurav. Saurav is not company. Company has hired Saurav. Company is third person, because that concept is so important when you look at your balance sheet and everything else. Company is a person. It's an entity. Typically we say perpetual entity, but companies also die. Like human beings, company also can die. Or company can go into perpetuity. Some companies last even if the founders die, right? But it is a company, it is a name, that person's name, that limited, that is a company, right? Now these are important concepts when you are looking at why are we saying that shareholders' equity is a liability. Okay, we'll get into that, right? So when we do campus hash, again, the next question is that if I'm doing hackathons, if I'm doing workshops, my revenue model changes. Is it better than the opportunity cost, which I have lost? Still, I am more ambitious. I am not happy the way it is running. I am still not created a scalable system. It is dependent today on me. I am the one riding. If I am not there in that equation, like a small business owner sitting in the shop, if he is closing down, no customers can buy anything. Now, how do I build little bit of team who will go and train? Now they have problem. Will the trainer will do exactly the way? So most of the entrepreneurs are control freaks. They want to have everything in control. They want to see. They want to do. That's not entrepreneurial thinking at all. You have to let go. You have to train the trainers and make them understand your vision. Replicate you in those trainers. That is your job. You can't say, oh, trainer is not good. Hire, fire, hire, fire. That is affecting the company. Because each hire and fire will take 6-7 months. You come back to square one. You are not scaled. So you are started getting opportunities on doing multiple hackathons. But the important thing is now you have to start building a team. What all we need? So Shirol comes in, right? Because now they are moving from students paying money. What happens, students paying money? That's a good business model. Because students forgot your name, sorry. Sai Kiran. Students like them are very, very difficult. How much money you pay for extra certifications and skills and etc.?
Microsoft is very expensive.
How much? Okay. Okay.
If you Red Hat, it's very 30,000.
Okay.
And if you're doing Udemy, it's 2,000, 3,000.
Okay. So which one you have taken?
This one.
Udemy. Getting money from them. 40 kids, you may say that, okay, in my accounting book, it is saying that 40 kids have come, 1,000 rupees they are paying. I'm going to get 40,000. But in reality, we will put it as accounts receivables. Because I'm just telling your name. You know, right? How difficult it is for faculty to go and collect that money. So that is why in race we say, okay, everything is included. We are not going to. Because in universities or in schools, they keep asking, keep giving, keep giving, keep giving. So, as a parent.
For exam, you have to
exam fees is separate. They don't include in units with you. For exam fee is different, for our intervention is different, and it is lab based, that is different. Different, that is different.
Okay, people online slept off. Hey, I don't like this people online.
No, we are awake. Yeah.
You're alive.
Okay, so hope you are reading and understanding and empathizing, not Saurav, but empathize with the target group. That getting the students pay this money. If they pay upfront, register and get inside the class. If you tell that, some people will stand and say that I will pay definitely after 1 week, but just let me attend. What do you do? No, get lost. Or somebody will say, I am in very, very bad situation. Give me some discounts. Discount is a favorite word, no? For everything we need discounts. All these issues. Now imagine 40 people paying. But what they would have done is they have mitigated that risk of not getting the money to the university or the institute. They will say, institute collect that 1,000 rupees and the students registered. We will only go and collect the money. We will not get into students' collections. Right? So it's a better thinking than going and telling that, no, I will do collection, I'll do teaching, I'll do assessment, I'll do that because I want a control freak, no? Because I want money to come to my account. Whatever be the silly reasons that you think. So you're thinking, I think your thinking only is the limitation. Right? So now next step we are looking at. Now the margins are very good. What is the margin? Why margins are very good, are very high? 70%, 80%. That the institute is next door from NIT. I just take my bike and go there, teach. I have only my laptops and other things. And lunch is provided by the institute. What is the expense? Maybe some prints or something. That's all. So almost all the money is mine. There is no expense. Hardly 20-30% they have put 70%. I would say it's almost nil expense. Good business model. No, entrepreneurship is not that. These are all called lifestyle businesses, hustle businesses. That means, okay, I'm getting, instead of asking my parents pocket money, now I am getting every week. So suppose he is doing say 1,000 into 20. Every week I am getting almost 80K. Between two of my partner, it is 40K. I'm already earning. That's a great money at that age. 40K. But that is hustle. That is lifestyle. That is not entrepreneurial. That could be entrepreneurial. Again, they are entrepreneurial, very entrepreneurial, right? Because they are thinking constantly now, how do I move? How do I change? So if you have a very fixed mindset compared to hacking mindset, growth mindset, that is the first feeling that you get when you read these cases, because they are constantly trying to change. That's why pivot comes in. Each time they are changing is pivoting. They are changing, right? What are they changing? Some constructs in the business model. Target groups are changing. The way they deliver is changing. The way that they are managing the fee collection is changing. All that is changing, right? So now when you go to the next step, this is where that they are looking at somebody sponsoring the workshop comes in. Not just the students sitting there paying. I have a second revenue stream where a company is now sponsoring, so that because they want people to be selected from the best programmers as my resource internship. It's a hiring practice. So for hiring, companies have budget. Now the whole strategy changes. Our job is not only find universities to fund this. We may get better money if a company says, I will place the winners of these workshops or hackathons. So you have two revenue streams coming in. The second revenue stream is better than this revenue stream because that they are paying lump sum based on this whole exercise, and they may also pay you based on the industry. The thing is that maybe 8% of the CTC or something. But I think they have written somewhere that they didn't want to charge them. It's only sponsorship amount. Now what happens to the whole business? What kind of skills I need? I need to connect. I need to network with more and more companies. That's why Shirol comes in saying that I know more companies, because you are bachas, they will not listen. Companies, HR managers, L&D heads will not, or hiring managers will not listen to you. But when I talk, so you carry a godfather, not godfather, Shirol or whoever, it's little more matured person to do the networking so that you get. Now, so imagine this person that they are running hackathons. They are giving the best interns. Now the companies are telling that still we are not solving the problems. Now they are saying, okay, there are so many people in our list. Now this is a database building. You are building the customers, the students database, which is a great asset to have. Then what is the next step? That can we take up projects and get it sold in the hackathons? So you get another revenue stream which says that this is my project and I am solving it. Third revenue stream. Now what happens? Not enough. Not enough, because if you are in a company, if you have taken a job, you would have grown sometimes 30%, sometimes 100%, because you are good. These two are good. And in a typical NIT, IIT kind of job placement, if you see, sometimes 50 lakh, sometimes 1 CR they are getting paid. That's the opportunity cost. So have they reached a 1 CR revenue now in a year? No, not with all these things. Right? Then what to do next? That now you scale in a real sense. You build a product. You build an application where companies can come in, companies can see, companies can run, companies can hire. Can you make an Excel sheet quickly? Some of you don't read. It is action.
I was thinking actions.
Okay. Okay. That is where they are, right? They have 3-4 options. Each option changes their business models. Each option changes their what revenue they will create. I'm just going back to the presentation, which says 2 protagonists, programmers, passionate about training, both are friends. Friends starting a business is good, huh? Depends. There is nothing called right answer, wrong answer. Web designing firm started training friends, other college, then they started campus hash. When you start a company, you need to have a structure, you need to have a legal entity. That is why legalities comes in, because you are creating a person. That person need to have some legal parent and all that, right? So that is why now what is the format? Do you start a proprietorship? Do you start a partnership? Do you start a limited liability partnership? Do you start a private limited partnership? Do you start not public limited yet? So these are the 4 options. How do you decide what is the right legal form? Is it a proprietary form? No. Right? Because there are 2 people. If you suppress the other person, no, you be with me, but I will run this place, then you can run a but that is not fair. What is partnership? 50-50 partnership. Right? 50-50 partnership. Good. This is a little out of context, but I'm just telling that you should know this. Anyone has experience on running anything, startup or anything? Online, offline? Or have never thought, or maybe thinking now?
We thought of, but I think COVID came and really meant. I think that COVID period, we had a lot of pressure from home. It got suppressed, but I think we started.
Who?
It's like me and my group of friends. It was like actually my husband's friend.
Okay.
So we became a group. So we are 4 of them who started in 2020.
Okay.
January, we started with an idea. And then we tried the website. We did a website and we did a lot of research. Then I think by May we had this lockdown and a lot of pressure from home. This suppressed and our work became
Increased. Now,
now we have to restart again.
okay, okay. Entrepreneurship need a tremendous amount of gravitational, this rocket fueling, no? We have seen how rocket goes up. It requires, because job is comfort, I would say. Entrepreneurship is not. It's a major decision that you have to take and you have to sustain it, right? Because what we see is that a lot of them start 2 years, 3 years, wind up, go back, or struggle, right? So what is the best format of legal entity here? Partnership. Why partnership is not good? Why LLPs are coming as a better format?
Then we do not have that restrictions. Once you go for private of restrictions, money or involvement.
Companies, yes, yes. So yeah,
That's why people do the restriction on the workers and
yes,
the liability.
yes, yes. So in a typical partnership form, you have not created that legal entity. You are still the business. You are the business. That means if the loss is yours, profit is yours. If liabilities are there, vendors can take away your house and go, car and go, right? But whereas limited liabilities, it's a separate entity that you have to create. And that is a smart way of doing, right? Don't affect your family for your mistakes, right? They have to be protected. The last option is private limited. Definitely after a certain period of time, you can't run limited liability partnership. It is better to move. And especially there are specific detailing and all that, which we are not looking. But in this case, maybe an LLP is a good mode to start. Now they started, they have 50 training in a year, word of mouth, they got good more and more business, more and more inquiries. Then they did little change and from B to C, B to B is started. That means now how B2B pays? These students, I was telling that, okay, faculty will start collecting the money a month ago and then we'll give them 40K. Some TDS is deducted, that's all, right? But company, how does a company pay? Sponsorship money comes first. Companies are very, very difficult. B2B sales will have little more difficult. So they would say, you run it, put our name, logo, but money will come in 30 days or 60 days. Okay, but the money is coming. Now, if they are hiring, if they are the hiring partner, suppose we have identified 10 people who will go to the company through this hackathon, what is the payment mode? Typically, any channel partners or hiring partners will have 8.3% of the CTC coming back to the hiring partner. But they pay in tranches, they pay in series. That means maybe a part of it would come first, once the hiring offer letter has been given, 50%. The rest 50% will come after 3 months, whether to see whether this person is staying or not. Referral bonus. What is that? What is the time period? 6 months they have to stay. Then only you will get your referral bonus. Companies are smart, no? So companies are we only. We have to be smart. I'm not talking. MBAs are the ones who are putting all this. Okay. Okay. Because it is risk mitigation strategies, right? So that means the model is changing. You need to know sales cycles, payment means payment cycles. You need to know whether there will be defaulters, what is the volume, contracts, brand, etc. Right? Opportunity cost is one constant thought that entrepreneur will go through. Oh, I would have stayed in my company, I would have now got this much shares, this much that benefit, this benefit. Now I don't even have a laptop because all these we take it for granted. Now I have to buy laptop. I have to actually buy tires, right? All that thing. So you have a very different set of problems on. And then in 2014, now they have come, came out of their university. They are came to Bangalore. Bangalore is open, so many companies and all that. And then there is a third partner with a little complementary skill set has come. And they started doing hackathons. They started getting paid internship, sponsorship, all that. We have 60% profit margin. They are still keeping. 2015, they started hiring salespeople for B2B sales. And then they started looking at HR for talent acquisition. 2016, they have these many options. Now, why options? Why can't they do hackathons? Why can't they do website development? Why can't they do project? Is it all possible? Some of them would scale saying that we will have now three verticals. One will focus on student because that's their base in which they are getting their customers. Because if that base is not there, nothing will work. You need students to keep coming to their portals. That means they have to still be connected with students. They have to still doing workshops and hackathons and everything else. So that vertical has to go. Somebody has to manage it. There must be a manager. There must be a trainer. There must be so many overheads around it. Second is that they have now a hiring portal. Now website, web application development. Then you have, it will take time. It's about, I think it's written all that, right? One year it is going to take. There is a cost to it. And they have to constantly create customized applications because each company's process is different. How do I now look at? Now, these are the facts. Okay, now I will stop talking. Because everybody is almost getting into sleep.
No, Sinu, I'm listening.
Okay, now it is time to stop listening and start acting. Okay, any questions coming to you, even in your companies, even in your daily life? Don't react and immediately give an answer. Put a structure, get a tool from your back of the mind, put things and say that this is the business model. The moment we say business model, there is already set concept being defined. If you say, okay, I don't know, that shows you in a very poor light. So better that you know all these terms, which is a standard parlance or standard language, right? So now let's look at business. I will just discuss and then we can look at what is a business model. Why we have so many legs being created? It's called a 9-block model. We have discussed last time also, 9-block model. We say, what is your product? First thing, what problem you are solving, whose problem you are solving, these two things. If you have not got this right, don't even start, right?
Actually, one is first I understand right, but you do start. I learned from the first thing he asked me when we were starting. You have this case, they just started with the best lab, they started ready. But after 6 years, in 2010, 6 years, they are thinking of how we, this has to be thought in 2010 or 11, that what I will be building. What are my sources of revenue? Can I leverage this product? The original person and they could have used their own training over them to build their platform for it. Absolutely. Instead of giving internship to some other, they have done this industrial project itself within themselves, as they were good founder. Should have just guided them. They have also got a like that.
Absolutely. So Manjunath has very good input. I was only sad that people online can't hear. So I don't want to repeat. I think you should come here and speak. Yeah, it's okay. It's a very good valid point. See, an entrepreneur starts with a vision versus start with a need or start with an immediate fancy thought, right? That okay, I'm a great thing. So that single thing called vision, and then add it with passion. You will make lesser mistakes. You will create better value faster, and you will do more efficient things, right? Because here you are learning by doing and learning by mistakes. By doing, you are coming to know, okay, this is an opportunity, that is an opportunity, this is an opportunity. So in a business model canvas, or even in visions and all that, when Eric Rice describes, he says, have the vision where you are going, take one path and see that whether this path will lead there. If it is not reading, don't change the vision. Don't change your goal. Change the path.
In this case, they were changing the goals based on the market
Yes.
scenario and their own situation.
Yes, 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 yes.
Continue.
And that is typically, how many of us have vision? How many of us have? How many of us have that clarity? I think we are all sitting with a glass which is always misted. There is a mist always on top of our eyes. We can't see. How do we see? I think last week also we told, how do we see? What a good visionary entrepreneur, we all know that in 10 years, this is what? This is the picture I have in my mind. So spend so much time on creating that picture. Everything will fall. I was reading about, I think, Romania's, Romania is one of the European countries as part of, say, Eastern Europe. They say there was one leader. He was killed by the people. There was one some name I can't pronounce properly. When everyone started their journey, say in 40s, 50s, 60s, when everyone went almost 40 years front because of the leaders they had, Romanian leader made them 40 years behind. You have seen such political examples. Some people have this vision, they become leaders. And people are inspired by that vision because we can't see, but that person can see, right? Now the question is, are you the one? Are you the one? So if you are the one, then maybe you should also try doing this as part of, right? So what Manjunath says is that the kids here didn't have much clarity when they started off. They kind of serendipity through once in some stumbling that they did, they happen to see and talk and then get it. But the best part of them, even though they are young, but they are very, very, very experimentative. They are good. They are good. They are passionate. But if there was a mentor, if there was some kind of guidance, I think there was one very famous case study from IASC, Strand Life Science. I don't know if you've heard. Strand Life Science. Strand Life Science is an IASC incubated startup. And because IASC has a great mentorship program, right? So the dean, in fact, Tata, because Tata is very closely associated, Ratan Tata, there were so many people to see that, nurture that, and then they kind of fast track the whole journey. Resources are being given, best labs were opened. If labs were not there, they got the funding. So I think that ecosystem, that is a power of ecosystem that entrepreneurship requires, right? Otherwise, you will figure out, but it will at the cost of precious years and money, right? So, so what we are looking at now here is, if you know the product, if you know what solutions, what is the best way to solving it? For that, what all you need, key partners, key resources, key activities, and how much it cost to set it up, what kind of cost. Do I need to spend now all my money? Or can I get somebody else to spend on what? and what kind of revenue streams. I think last class also we discussed putting everything on one revenue stream, like what we do in our salaries and all that. One paycheck doesn't come in that month. We can't even get up from our bed. That is a very dangerous proposition for everyone, individuals, companies, or everyone. That is why you need to have multiple revenue streams. So the whole purpose of a business model is don't look at it as individual blocks, that all these 9 blocks of a big stool, if you are looking at stool or a vehicle which is moving, all of them have to be in alignment, but you will also figure out there is one block, 2 blocks is your secret sauce. That is why a restaurant does well compared to another restaurant which is next door.
In this, what I call is competitor analysis.
Okay, competitor analysis is missing. So what happens is that there are multiple tools and frameworks. When you do, like she mentioned, market research, right? Market research leads to business model canvas. So don't think that business model is the only model, right? You need to have different mental models. This is one of the model. And if you can master this. Now, how do you understand customer segments? The prerequisite to that is market research or competition analysis, gap analysis, all that. But there are different modules for that. Say, for example, Ansov's model, or even 5 forces model of Porter's. 5 forces. That's all different models for competition analysis. But once you put all these things, once you solidify your segment, customer segment, student, or now who is a customer segment? Paying segment. Student are paying, but money is coming from universities. Now, whose relationship you should make? You have to be in good touch with the institute head or that head of the department or whatever. That is the relationship you should build, right? That means you must get endorsements from the other principal, this principal, reference, right? Plus students. Students is a very important thing because it's part of it. But next is HR. It's a different customer segment. You need to have a very different research and other processes there, right? Building the database. Now, if you have to do, say, a B2C model, directly students are coming and paying. Vis-a-vis university is paying. You see how business model is so dynamic model that you should think. So this is a which we do as a workshop if we are doing. I don't have time for anything, but I'm just telling if we are doing it, it is a sticky notes exercise. You have done that. No, design thinking you would have done. Or are you are you attending any workshops in your company? Or you yourself have done sticky note exercise. So that means you pull out one customer segment. That's what we should do. And that is why the intention of this, that if I change one customer segment, what happens to this? Each vertical need to have business model. Each product line needs to have business model. It's not like one model for everything. Then it will not work. And you also need to convert this into an Excel sheet. It's not like, oh, okay, now I put everything. Right? Okay, so I know it is 11:30. We can take a small break. There is a what happened? Yeah, there is a not audible. Either I can do one thing only at a time.
Before, can you start sharing, right? The laptop, stop sharing.
Yeah.
You can hear?
Once you try, play the video.
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the interesting things about thinking about a startup is how is your company going to be organized? And what we now know is the most efficient way to think about all the pieces, just all the parts, is by a business model. And so the next question is, okay, Steve, you just told me to think about a business model, but what is a business model? What are all the pieces? Well, let's take a look. And a business model is how a company creates value for itself while delivering products or services for its customers. Now, if you think about it, in the old days, we'd think of.
No, I am just, I just want to fasten it and.
So one of the interesting
so
out
I listen.
all their
Listen,
geographic,
so
social characteristics, demographics, such that you actually could draw and put up a picture of on your wall of who the archetype is or who the persona is of your customer. And it turns out that in most startups, you might have more than one or two or three types of customer archetypes and personas, but you need to understand.
So this is a model. This is a framework that you should have. How do I do customer segmentation? Customer segmentation could be demographic based. That means location. I will only look at this 5 kilometers next to me. Or it could be sociographic. It could be a B2B means firmographic. That means I will take, so in TCS annual reports, if you see, they will say, we are looking at large corporations, not small SMEs, right? So that's a segmentation basis, right? So you need to have these models for everything. I would want all of you to just go deeper and deeper into every sentence that which we have not talking. So
Understand them in detail. And there is no possible way you could have anything but a hypothesis on day one of who they are. The next is channels. How does your product over here get to your customers over here? And we use distribution channels to do that. Now, what's really interesting is pre-1990s, the only channels to get to a customer was a physical channel. That is, you went to a store, you had salespeople, there was physical distribution. But since the mid-1990s, in the last couple of decades, we now have virtual channels, the web, mobile, cloud. And so distribution channels, the first question you want to ask is, how will I be selling and how will I be distributing my products? Are they through physical channels or are they web mobile? Or given today, almost every physical channel also has a web presence. What is the relationship of how your product gets from your company to the customers? Customer relationships. It's kind of the fourth
I'm going
piece.
to share
And
this.
customer
Share this in the chat so that you can see, right? So you are getting the point, right? Or because this can go on. We will take a break, but when you come back, there are two things to do. I have to get this canvas done.
I have
Online,
done a
offline.
little, ma'am.
Huh? You've done?
I have done, yes, I have done a little.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
yes.
great. So what we will do is everyone can work on it, and then we will start with Kapil. Huh? Who
Yes,
did who?
yes,
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
okay. So we'll see couples. There is another exercise which we will do, which is the next one, which we are calling it as pivot, right? So we'll see one of the video on what is pivot means. There's another video on Eric Rice, and then we will look at different types of pivot, and then we will create a pivoted business model. If you can do this exercise, then you have some understanding on how organization works. So that is the purpose. Any feedback or any thoughts on so far? And we will also try to get into an Excel sheet, right? Can you create a spreadsheet? Yeah? Difficult job, but all the assumptions are given. Okay. Yeah. So let me show you a glimpse, right? Okay. Can you do market sizing? I am just showing you so that you can know. Can you do a market sizing? Because industry size has been given. What is the hiring numbers has been given. These are all in in terms of yeah. In phase 1, you have some numbers. You have some numbers. In phase 2, scaled up to full time, number changes. I'm not going to share this. It's common sense only, from the case only. If you do with sponsorship, what happens? These are different revenue, different format, no? If you do recruitment screening with hackathon, what happens? Maybe I'll end up doing showing this, but I'm just telling. Then you have the final phase, because you have to show a funder a big picture, because VCs have vision. You may not have vision. VCs will not come and listen to your training stories and all that, because too much risk involved. If you die, what happens? If students go COVID and then things are given free, what happens? So many things can happen. So VCs will listen to big stories, big vision stories, right? And they are looking at how much fund. They think they are looking at 3 crore fund now, 3 CR. So with this current model, can they get 3 CR funding? Then has anyone actually talked to? So these are the things you should do during the break. That have you gone to LinkedIn and checked what these people are doing currently? What happened to this company? This is a real company, and if required, I can bring the founder to the session. For that, I need action. I cannot have people sitting and watching and say, we can bring the entrepreneur. We can bring all the 3, or at least 1. You don't need all the 3. And you should also know what happened to this company. That is an entrepreneurial learning. No?
I know that.
Yeah, because I know one of them, but they have done pretty good. I'll tell what happened. These are all. Yeah. Okay, break for 15 minutes. We'll come back at 55, but then I would want the business model canvas. Thank you.